hand side, you'll see channel. Go ahead and click that, and then there's an option to store past broadcasts. And so that's how you would do either one of those options. Now, let's say, because I've got Double Stream up here right now. As you know, I use him as a example a lot. He has a nice clear picture. You know, making sure your bit rate is set correctly is probably one of the good keys of making sure that you have a good picture quality. Now, to check what your bitrate is in OBS, and this includes OBS Studio, you would go to your settings, go to the Output tab, and under the Video Bitrate option, will show you what your bitrate currently is. You can auto-calibrate it, but the average is about 2,500. Now, there is a list out there for what you should have your bitrate set to, and it's a lot of what your internet is, specifically your upload, but it's also how quality of your computer is, what the quality of your computer is. Oh, thank you, DJ. I thought I updated that. I must not have hit save. But if you think that your bitrate might need to be changed and you can't find the information on Twitch, just let one of us know in the Ask Any Questions channel, and I've actually got a little cheat sheet that I should post in helpful links actually, but a little cheat sheet that can help you determine what your bitrate should actually be. Oh, no worries, DJ. You know, obviously adjust the volume as necessary, and you can actually see in OBS what your desktop volume is at, and if you're talking into your mic, what your mic volume is ending up being. Now, typically, and actually I learned this from Ferret, from my husband, how he tests his sound to get kind of an average of where people are at. He sets his desktop volume at about 80%, and in OBS, he also sets his desktop volume in OBS at about 80%. This way, if people need to turn you up louder, they can, but you also know that you're not going to be too loud for the average viewer. The other thing you can do to help, you know, filter out background noise is OBS has filters for gain and suppression. And we're going to have a little bit of an inception here, but I'm going to pull my OBS over here. All right, so hopefully everybody can see this all right. So you want to look at your mic or auxiliary, and then we have the little cogwheel for settings. Then you want to go to filters, actually. What you would do is I've already got them here, but what you would do is you would hit the plus sign to add, and then you would choose noise suppression or noise gate. Now I've got noise suppression here. I've got it turned all the way down. Now, this setting works for me, however, it may not work for you. So you can kind of play with that to see how much it's suppressing, if it suppresses your voice too much, or if that's fine. One of the videos that I had actually found as a tutorial on how to do these things was to put the suppression all the way to the left, and then test your sound quality, and then adjust it as needed if you need to move it up a little bit more or a lot, just depending on your surroundings and your voice, because some people's voice carries really well, some people don't. So then under noise gate, what this will do is we have the open threshold and we have the closed threshold. What the open threshold will do is what decibel level does it need to be in order for your mic to open up. So say that I'm in the background doing something, well, it's not going to pick up that noise because the noise isn't loud enough to open the microphone. Otherwise, it'll be off. But if I'm sitting right in front of my microphone and talking, the decibel level is loud enough where it's going to say, hey, I need to turn, you know, the sound from the mic back on because somebody is talking or doing something. Now, what the closed threshold is that what decibel level after it is open will it close? So you can kind of play with these levels to make sure that when you're speaking, just your normal inside voice, if you're speaking at a volume you normally do, that your mic is going to open up, and that the close threshold isn't down so far that it's going to pick up a lot of background noise and not really close. Some people like to use these, some people don't, but if you do have a problem with background noise in your environment, this would be a possibility of something to look at to kind of clean up your audio. The other thing is, and this really depends on the type of microphone that you have, is voice meter. Now, I use a Blue Snowball. My husband used a Blue Yeti, which actually I'm going to be getting because he got a brand new mic. The brand new mic that he has does not need a program such as voice meter on it, because it actually makes it worse. But with microphones such as the Blue Yeti and the Snowball, voice meter helps really kind of clean up and refine your sound. And there is actually, specifically for the Yeti and the Snowball, there is a tutorial that somebody has put out there that's really well done. I couldn't do it any better. And I think we actually have that posted in the tutorials channel on our Discord. Now, I know not everybody uses Yetis or Snowballs. That seems to be almost more of a gamer streaming microphone, but I know that there are other microphones out there that could benefit from this or could not. If you need help with it or have any other questions about using something like voice meter, just let us know. We'll be able to help you with it and work through it, even if we may not have the answer right off the top of our bat, because there are countless different kinds of microphones out there. But we will definitely work with you to see if this is something that would help you or not. So you've done your audio check. You checked your video. Everything looks good there. All right. The next thing you can do to help yourself look professional, and the thing to keep in mind is that looking professional, you need to look at your stream as a whole. So it's not just what you're going to look like and sound like. The general appearance, because think about when you enter somebody's channel and you've never been there before. Think about some of the things you look at to see if you like that person or not. One of the things is definitely icon. Because obviously when you're looking through your channels to see who is online, you're going to be looking for an icon that matches them. Hey guys, I just got to shift in my chair. There we go. Now, the other thing not a lot of people know about, because it gets forgotten easily, is your banner up here. Now, this usually doesn't come into play, and so it's a minor detail, but it could look nice. Because when you do go to your followers or those that are following you, you'll have the main icon picture that's right here, but behind that you have the banner. So you can kind of tell the difference already if you're looking through who's following them, who has it, who doesn't. And to me, that just looks a lot better. The other thing to look at too is panels. This is something that's probably one of the underrated parts of setting up your stream. All right, so now there is no wrong way to set up your panels. This is something that's going to be completely customized to what you are doing. Now you can see that Devil has little pictures of customized nameplates for him, and not a lot of information filled in here. Now for him, that works. Let's go, we'll go look at mine real quick. All right. Get rid of that. All right, so I also have the little pictures as a tag. This one is from a Nerd or Die website, which will generate those for you, and you can save them. Let's fix it. Oh, okay. Thank you, DJ. So typically, let's say you just started streaming or you don't have any panels and you're not sure what to put in there. I usually suggest for anybody, and it doesn't matter what kind of stream you have, is some type of about me or about my stream. A lot of people will combine these two categories into one. And you don't necessarily need to put a lot of info in there. It's more of, well, if you wanted your viewers to know more about you, what do you want them to know? I've got my name in there, you know, and about my ferrets, and I'm a Midwesterner, and I play video games. I'm in my early 30s. You know, that's about all I really want them to know about me. You know, just at a glance. You know, and I put in what kind of games I play. I've got a panel, which is also a link for anybody who wants to join my Discord. I also have a more stream section, which tells you, you know, here's some other people you can go follow. And of course, our handy dandy ready set stream. Donations, schedule. What I would suggest for people is to have an about me or about my stream, like I said. You can put in something for chat rules if you would like, but I don't think that's quite as... it's not quite as urgent. Schedule. If you have some kind of schedule, even if you don't have a schedule. Because currently I don't have a schedule. And that's okay. But by having something in your panel section will help let your viewers know that, hey, this person is a streamer. So if it's somebody who's in your channel for the first time ever, they can just scroll down here and see that, oh, this person is a streamer. Here's some stuff about them. Especially for creative streamers, having a link to your Twitter or your Pinterest or some kind of online portfolio, I think would be one of the first things that you want to put on there. Now, if you haven't done, if you haven't done this before, I was about to go in there because it's my personal page, but here, let's go to our RSS one. Now, you can see that no, we don't have anything in our panels here. What you would want to do is you would want to click Edit Panels. Click this box to add one. We want to add a text or image panel. And we could add a title. You know, let's just go test title. Or we could add an image. Let me actually find... I'm gonna find where I did my image. All right, here we go. Found it. All right, so we're gonna put a title in there and we're gonna add the image. And just put a description in there for testing. All right. So in each panel you do, you have to click the individual submit button. Now, as you can see, because we put a title in there, that's showed up. So some people like to just use this as the title for it. Other people like to use the pictures. If we were to remove the panel title and save it and take a look again, now we just have the picture itself. To me, that looks a lot crisper, a lot neater, and that you've actually put some time into your stream rather than just filling out a text box. And obviously, as you grow, you can hire artists to do some custom art for you. The other thing to note here is if you want to put a link here, such as the invite to my Discord channel, I post the link here, or the link to your Twitter or your Instagram, you would put those there. So all you would have to do is click on the panel itself and it'll take you right to it. And I think a good example of that is, I think this one. Yeah, let's go look at Paul's stream, everybody. Oh, he's got his donation button, but you get the gist. You click on the donation picture and it brings up the page. You can apply that to pretty much any of your panels that you would want to do that for. All right, so that's panels. As you grow, you're going to see the need of what you need and what you don't need. always try to keep the text up to... You want to make sure that the text is always up to date. For example, the text on my panels, it's a little outdated right now, so I need to go through and I need to update that this weekend. Yeah, Paul, that's you. Are you hungover tonight? Or today? You were pretty tipsy last night at the arena. Alright, the other thing we want to look at is overlays. For example, I just have a picture of RSS in the bottom right. Oh god, this Inception, this is creepy. I gotta get out of here. Alright, but I do need to go to, there we go. So, currently, the overlay that's here, we've got... I consider anything on your screen, pictures or otherwise. You fell asleep at your desk? Oh my god. Whoops. So overlays, I consider overlays anything on your screen. If it's something that you're bringing in through a browser source from Streamlabs or Stream Elements, or if it's individual items that you're putting on your screen from OBS. So here we have a donation bar at the bottom, and we also have the bit boss. Let's see who else is on. If you guys have seen Ecto, she has a very elaborate overlay on, and she actually 2 weekends ago she did a workshop on overlays and advice and how-tos for it. Stream Elements allows you to put together kind of an all-in-one overlay, which includes your alerts and everything else. Streamlabs, you kind of have to do it bit by bit. It just really depends on what you need. So the question is, how much is too much? How much is too little? For a lot of creative streamers, and well, even some of the gaming streamers, they'll have a webcam in the corner. You don't want anything to cover up the middle of your screen or the content of your screen. So a lot of times you'll see it on the bottom bar, maybe around the side here or at the top, but this middle section is always freed up. It's not going to cover up anything crucial to what you're doing. You know you have too much when probably a good 30% or more of your screen is just plastered with it. Now, keep in mind that's not necessarily for everyone. I have seen some streams where only half of the screen actually shows the content. But because of the art that they have on their overlay and how it's laid out, it works for them. So you just kind of got to play with it and make sure, does this look clean? Does it look neat? Does it look well thought out and put together? Scenes is another thing. So, for example, when I started the stream today, we brought you in at this ready set stream icon. I had my mic muted, played music for 4 or 5 minutes, and what that will do is when you start streaming and you have a starting soon screen, and you're just playing some music, this allows people to get notifications from Twitch, from Discord, or for even to see it come up in the followed channels while they're on Twitch itself. People can start coming to your channel instead of just starting your stream and getting right into it. This may not work for everybody, and that's okay. But it is kind of a suggestion if you want people to kind of gather a little bit before you get in. Go. Switching back, and so obviously you have your scene for what you're doing, whether it's cameras, art on your computer, video games, whatever it may be. But also, if you need to go AFK from your stream for just a minute, like, all right, you've been streaming for an hour or two. Sorry, my husband's cracking me up. But let's say you've been streaming for an hour or two, you really got to go to the bathroom or you need more to drink. That's fine. My suggestion is always to make sure you mute your microphone if possible, So that way you don't accidentally say something you don't want others to hear, especially if there's others in the house than just you. Because if I go AFK real quick and I need to talk to my husband, I don't want people to hear my private conversation. The other thing too is to add a scene for being right back. You know, and this could just, there's probably 100 different ways of just saying, hey, I'll be right back in a second, guys. But by having that screen up, let's say somebody comes into your stream for the first time while you're on a quick 5-minute break, and all they see is a screen like this, or standing still in a video game, whatever, or a picture of your workstation. And they don't hear any audio, nothing's happening, mouse isn't moving, nothing around it's moving. They're gonna be like, what am I watching? I saw somewhere that if somebody goes into a stream for the first time, they know within the first 5 or 10 seconds if they want to stay and watch a little bit more. So by having a screen that says, hey, I'm gonna be right back, guys, then that brand new viewer knows that, oh, well, they probably just stepped away for a second to grab a drink. I'll stick around for a minute and see what happens. Other screens that people will use is possibly a ending stream, which I'm on the fence about it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So say that you're done streaming for the day, you're gonna go host or raid somebody afterwards and you're trying to figure out who it is. Rather than sitting on the screen that you've been using for the whole stream, they'll have a offline scene that they go to next. And so while that's up, they're talking to their stream and deciding who are we gonna raid or who are we gonna host. Also, if you are offline, I think that one is the one that shows when they come to your channel. So, offline one, don't necessarily have to have. It might be that extra little touch, but that one is not going to be as important. The other thing that I suggest is to have a bot with basic commands. Now, you don't have to do this, but to me it's helpful because there's shout out commands you can do, there's uptime command that we can teach everyone how to do. So if someone wants to see how long you've been streaming so far, they can just use an uptime command. As funny things happen in your stream, like if I'm being a potato, well, I got a potato counter. You know, if I'm being a potato, people can use exclamation potato to have a counter of how many times I've been a dork. It really depends on what your stream is and what you're doing, of course, but having something to help include your viewers in the experience is a way to help kind of retain your viewers, as well as just having maybe even a unique gimmick. Emotes is another one. Now, obviously, this only applies if you are a affiliate or partner. I mean, Devil has a lot of them just because he's hit the mark of X amount of followers, but you basically, as affiliate, will start out with a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3. Now, I have seen affiliates who don't have any emotes at all. As you've probably seen in a lot of other people's channels, is that if somebody subs, somebody donates, somebody raids, they're spamming an emote to show their support and appreciation for that person, or if something funny happens, you know, the uses for it are technically endless. But usually people, as their tier 1, will have some kind of heart or a height, or maybe something else that pertains to your particular stream. It's okay to have it blank for a while, but I really highly suggest having something in there soon after you hit affiliate. And even though you submit an emote, like I've got 2 hearts that DJ created for me on mine. Now, that's in there until I can figure out what I really want as my tier 1 emote. But until then, my subscribers actually have something to work with and do. So the other thing you're going to want to make sure you set up are your alerts. You know, when somebody follows, when somebody hosts, donates, subs, gives you some bits. you're going to want to alert. I know for Streamlabs, the default is a little zombie running and a little bit of chime noise. I highly suggest updating those alerts to something that fits you. And that kind of gets us into a different topic called branding. Now, I think we still need to upload it to YouTube. However, Paul did a workshop on branding. Example, Devil. Devil, he's Confused Devil. He's got the devil as his brand, his thing. Trying to think. Let's see. Ferret RP. I know I actually kind of felt bad that I missed that one, but I've heard a spiel on branding before too, so it's actually a lot of good information. We actually do have a YouTube channel for Ready Set Stream. Hopefully we'll be getting that workshop on there soon. So if you need more information, you can definitely check that out, because I'm not really going to go too in depth with it here. But essentially what you want to figure out is, what do you want your brand, what do you want your label to be? Ferret, it's obviously hearts. We got the derpy ferret up here as his icon, and I don't think, yeah, he's got to update his banner still. He's getting some art done, but updating your banner here, whatever it may be, because it might not be a single kind of icon. I'm starting to go with a Minnie Moose thing. Your theme might be art in general. Swanee, her thing is dragons, so she's got dragons all over her page. You're not going to necessarily know what your brand is going to be when you first get into it. Sometimes it just organically develops. Sometimes you have an idea of what you want to go with, and it goes in a completely different direction. But one thing to start thinking of ahead of time is, what do you want your brand to be? What is going to fit you? What's going to feel natural? What can you roll with and make things happen? Let's get that closed. All right, so another thing is having some form of consistency. Now, I understand that having an actual set schedule is difficult for most people to do, and that's fine. You don't have to have a set schedule. If you're trying to get into streaming, but perhaps your schedule doesn't really allow for any consistency as far as time or days, at least be consistent of doing a stream or two a week when you're able to fit it in. Or the other thing is, it's not showing there. You have something on your stream. It's not there. All right. Sorry, I do a lot better with visuals, so that's why I'm going to go back to our channel here. Oh, they got rid of it. That's why. My apologies. Twitch changed something yet again. But if you have... Paul talks about, like, if you have a Twitter. Every day at... I forget the time, but he's actually got an alarm set on his calendar, so that every day at a certain time he needs to make a post to, I think it's Twitter for him. I'm not a social media person and I need to fix that, but you know, even if you can't get on and stream every day, post on, if you have a social media or something, to keep in touch with your fans, that like, hey guys, sorry it's been a super busy week, you know, I'm not going to be able to stream this week, but here's some ideas I have of what I want to do moving forward. Okay, that's entirely a possibility. You know, just something to keep that communication going. Because otherwise you kind of can get swept to the side. Now, if you are able to set a schedule that's going to work for you without making your life more difficult. So let's say you want to stream, oh, every day that I get off of work, I'm just going to come home, have dinner. I'm going to get on at 7 o'clock every night and stream. Well, life happens. You know, weeks get busy. Once I get re-employed, I'm thinking of, okay, every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to stream at about probably 8 o'clock at night. Oh, that is a very good point, Gata. I did not realize that. So yes, that will definitely be helpful as well. But the reason I picked Tuesday and Thursday, it's like, well, during the week, if if I have to go grocery shopping, or there's some other errands I have to run, or there's some things around the house that I need to get done, I'm not going to really be able to do that from the time I get off work to the time I need to start streaming. So I'm trying to budget ahead. It is Doodlemander. Hello, hello. But essentially, and you're not gonna know exactly what kind of schedule works for you, but just play around with it a little bit until you kind of find something that works best. It's all about trial and error, and especially as you hit the ground running, you're gonna quickly find out what works for you and what doesn't. That's kind of the nice thing about streaming, is that there's no one single way that you have to do it. This can be so customized to you, your stream, your schedule. But I do think that some form of consistency will help bring viewers, because double streams, at least his old schedule, was every night around 8 o'clock streams. So it's like tuning into your favorite TV show every night. Those of you who remember when that was actually a thing. The other thing is music versus no music. I've actually heard this question brought up quite a bit. To me, it really depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you like. I'm already feeling old. Don't worry about it. You're in good company. So, having music versus no music. Well, there's a lot of different factors to this, and I think ultimately it comes down to personal preference. So, as an example, if you're a video game streamer, maybe there's dialogue in your game or music that's part of your game that you don't need to have any other music on top of it. That's perfectly fine. I mean, if you don't want the music taking away from your stream and your content. In some cases, like with a lot of role-playing games, people will have music to kind of amplify their character, like mood music. Other times for me, it's like I won't have music on because there's so much going on that it's going to take away from my stream if I have it up there. You don't want it to be too loud. You don't want it to overpower your voice or anything that you're doing. A lot of other streams, there is some royalty-free music, and I believe we put a link to it in the helpful links section, because sometimes in your VOD, music that is copyrighted cause the audio of your VOD to not be there anymore because Twitch has muted it. But royalty-free music will not do that to you. Or music that is part of a game you're playing or something that you're doing. But the biggest thing to take into consideration, again, is just make sure it's not taking away from what you're doing. Don't be a distraction. If anything, it should be kind of like background noise. So that way, if there is some dead air, it's just not completely silent or static. The other thing is filling dead space. Paul describes it as projecting your inner monologue. So when you're doing on your stream, and it doesn't matter what kind of stream you have, if there's periods where you're not talking for quite some time, that's not necessarily looking good. Now, it depends on what you're doing. Let's say you're concentrating really hard on something that you're working on hands-on. That's a good time for maybe some background music to go on. But a lot of times what you're going to want to do is talk to them about what you're doing. What are you thinking? What are you wanting to do? What are your thoughts on, like, if you're working with clay, what are you trying to do with it in that particular moment? Now, you don't have to be a blabbermouth and just constantly talk, kind of like I have been now. But you don't want to have necessarily 5-10 minutes go by where you don't say a thing. Now, of course, there's going to be exceptions to the rule, but kind of like leading your chat on with you, like this is the journey that you're taking. Here, let me show you what I'm doing. Here's what I'm thinking, or here's what I would like to do. Here's what I'm working on. You know, kind of project those thoughts, but have a filter. I mean, you don't want all the cuss words going out of your mouth to mess something up. Or maybe you do, I don't know. I wouldn't suggest it though. All right, so another tip for your stream is hosting versus raiding. And there's some people that prefer to host, some people prefer to raid. When your stream is all done, kind of to help support other streamers or friends, a lot of people will host or raid another streamer who's in the moment once they're finished. Now, a host means that that streamer's feed will come up in your channel. Now, if you're raiding, what you are doing is you're taking everybody in your channel and depositing them in that person's channel, so they're no longer going to be in yours. Now, to me, I don't think it's one versus the other is more important, but I do think that when you are done, hosting or rating somebody is a good way to get your name out there as well. Not only are you giving viewers to that particular person, but the viewers that are already in that person's particular channel might actually say that, oh, this is so-and-so, I'm gonna go check them out. And you could probably get more followers and grow your community that way. So by supporting other people, you're also supporting yourself. But when you do host a raid, I've always found it best to stick to your particular genre. So when I'm doing the Conan RP, I host or raid people that are doing that confused Conan RP. Let's say if I was playing World of Warcraft, I would want to host one of my friends who's also playing World of Warcraft. Or if you're a creative streamer, hosting somebody who is also a creative streamer. And it doesn't have to be that particular craft that you're working in, but just in the creative community would work as well. But if I'm sitting there playing a video game and then I'm gonna go host somebody who's knitting, I think my my chat would be completely lost on that. Like, why did we go here? And I think that is, yes, I think that is all of the tips and tricks that I have had lined up. Keep in mind that not all of these will necessarily apply to you. And as your stream goes, you can really get these concepts refined. And I'm sure there's some things that I've left out, but for the most part, these are all things that can kind of help you on your way. As an example, what I should have done is I should have had something else on my screen for you to look at as well while I'm blabbing away. And that's something that would have helped it look a bit better as well. So I know I kind of breezed through all of these, but if anybody has any questions, we can actually go through them now if you want. It can pertain to this, or even if it's something that I didn't bring up yet that you would like to know about, feel free to ask. Otherwise, as always, if you don't want to ask here on the stream, we do have the Discord for RSS. You're welcome to ask in there. We have a lot of helpful people. It's not just me answering questions, it's Paul, Donatellis, and DJ are all your gurus, as well as other people being able to share their personal experiences on what works and what doesn't. I just realized how screwed up this looks. I'm going to change it back to the other scene, guys, because that Inception's even getting to me. So there we go. All right, but I do believe that that is all I really had to go over. Doesn't look like there are any questions in the chat or anything, so I just want to thank you all for coming out. Immediate questions? All right. Yeah, if you have any questions later on, don't hesitate to ask. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. And there's a other people and who's been with RSS for a while who has some good experiences of their own to share. So again, thanks for coming out. For those of you who weren't able to make it, this is actually going to get uploaded to YouTube once the VOD is finished processing. Links rapidly. All right, guys, thank you everybody for coming out, and we will probably see you in 2 weeks. Will be the next workshop, and I believe Doodlemander, you may like this one. We're gonna cover bots. What I probably will do is just cover the basic bots of such as Moobot, Nightbot, Wisebot, and I'll see if I can also get the Streamlabs and Stream Element chatbots as well. So, have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and we will see you soon.